Welcome to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate. It's National Passenger Safety Week, and here to tell us a little bit more about that is Trooper Ross Brennan with Louisiana Troop C. Thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, pleasure to be here.
Okay, so this week, it's National Passenger Safety Week. Can you tell us, a little bit of what that's about and what y'all try to accomplish with that?
So traditionally, whenever we talk about roadway safety, we kind of always focus on the drivers, but passengers also play a vital part inside the vehicle. In fact, in 2019, 62% of fatal crashes that happen on the roadway, the fatals inside that vehicle was a passenger. So it definitely is a high number across the whole nation. So there's a couple of things that you can do, but most importantly, we're just encouraging passengers just to speak up. So first thing is seatbelt safety. A passenger can always make sure that everybody else in the vehicle is properly restrained. Sometimes it might be hard for that driver to do so, but just look around the vehicle, make sure everybody has that seatbelt on the correct way, the front seat, the back seat, day or night. That's a good thing for a passenger to be able to do to help the driver out.
My kids certainly love to point that out if I even
Yeah.
start backing up a foot without putting on the passenger. They're
Exactly.
real good without putting on the seatbelt. They're real good to let know to make sure to buckle up and just how important it is.
Yeah, and then we actually got I got some crash test footage I would like to show here.
Okay.
So you're actually 2 times more likely to die in the crash if your rear seat occupants are not wearing a seatbelt. You can see there, that front seat does not stop that rear seat passenger. It's going to continue going forward in that crash versus on the other side, everybody's properly restrained, so everybody stays in their place, right? And so this crash looks pretty violent. It looks like a high-speed crash, but that's only 25 miles an hour. That's only a school zone. So you can about imagine what it would look like at highway speed. So that's why it's so important that everybody inside the vehicle wears that seatbelt. Another thing is distracted driving, right? So sometimes as a passenger, the best thing to do is just maybe remain silent in a way. Sometimes conversations can be a form of distraction. You got to think about what you're going to say, what you're going to reply back to, right, as a driver. So another way, too, for passengers to help with distraction is maybe manage the radio or navigation system, or even take the driver's cell phone and reply back to text messages that they might be getting. Another thing, too, is an extra set of eyes. So 2 sets of eyes is better than one. So a passenger can also be scanning the roadway looking for potential hazards that the driver may not really see out immediately in front of them. But also just speak up. Maybe if you're riding with somebody, if they're driving recklessly or dangerously, tell them something. You have the right to get to your destination safe like everybody else does. So point out that action to the driver. And if they refuse to listen to you, maybe if you can, try not to ride with that person anymore, right? It's all about making sure that you get to your destination safely.
Yeah. I'm afraid my wife might take that last one a little bit too literal.
Yeah.
She doesn't hesitate to speak up when I'm driving for some reason. I think I'm driving okay, but but that's a good, if it is reckless. Again, and another thing, not only reckless, if you see the person behind trying to drive, has had something to drink or something. That's another way that a passenger can speak up as well.
Yeah, if that passenger is sober, they can offer to drive, but also never get into a vehicle with an impaired driver. That's just the best safe bet to get from the get-go there. But part of National Passenger Safety Week, we also went to Thibodeau High School. So we did some community activities. The past 2 days, we did the whole 10th grade class. It consisted of partnering with SAD, which is Students Against Destructive Decisions. It's a national program. And basically, what we had is an in-day whole class presentation talking about the benefits of a seatbelt if you were to be involved in a crash, how it protects your body, keeps you safe inside the vehicle, and then don't fly around, things such as that. But we also had a quick click relay. So if you can pull up that video and footage there. But basically what it was, we had teams of 4, and what the students did is they had to rotate all 4 vehicle seats inside and buckle up and make sure they were properly buckled. So it just showed how quickly they can make sure that everybody inside the vehicle is properly restrained before they even leave from where they're starting off at. So it was a fun-filled day, but there was also good educational methods and stuff behind it.
Yeah, and I think when you make it fun, I guess it's more likely for them to have it stick in their minds as well, I would think.
Exactly. And it's all about just trying to start them off young. A lot of them just started driving, so if we can instill those good driving habits now, hopefully it will carry on through the rest of their life. And also they can bring it back home to their family. We also talked to them how if they had little siblings, to make sure that that seatbelt, if they're riding in a booster seat, or maybe they kind of skip from the forward facing straight to the car seat, kind of look out for some things, make sure that seatbelt's not too high on our stomach or too high on our neck, so they actually can be able to go out and help their family members also when it comes down to seatbelt safety.
Well, that's certainly some good educational tools there. And again, you know, being buckled is very important. And I know when, you know, I was growing up, it wasn't against the law for the person in the back seat
Yeah.
to actually, you know, have to buckle up. But now it certainly is, because I guess, you know, we've learned more, and you've seen from that video there, right? You know, just how dangerous it could be if you're in the back seat and you're not
Yeah.
buckled up.
And that's something that we also face a lot of, maybe the older drivers, they don't realize that it's also all occupants. Like you said, at one point it might have been just the front passengers. But yeah, under Louisiana law, if there's a seat available and there's a seat belt there, they have to buckle up. So whether that's the front seat, middle seat, or the third row, they have to be properly restrained inside the vehicle. And look, another thing too, we talked about the little kids inside the vehicle. If you have a child seat, please feel free to come by State Police Troop or a certified child fitting station. But also at Terrebonne General, the first and third Wednesdays of the month from 10 to 12, we also do child fitting stations at the Women's Center right in front by the main rotunda in front of the hospital.
Yeah, because that certainly can be confusing just on, you know, knowing their weight. You got different requirements, and believe me, I've had to hook up many. They're not easy
Yeah.
to actually get.
And the new ones have like Bluetooth and electronics and different types of things. So they've gotten a whole lot more safer, but unfortunately some of them have gotten a little bit more complicated. So that's what we're out there for, just to help kind of ease the parents and show them how to properly install that seat inside their vehicle.
Well, we thank you again for coming on and looking out for everybody's safety out there.
No problem. Thank you, Al.
All right. Stay tuned for more right here on HTV.